the Unmistakable Woman podcast. I'm your host, Elisa Canali. If you don't know me, I have scaled and built my business from zero to multi-millions since 2018 online. And I'm so excited to start this podcast and share more of the behind the scene and more of my journey and how you can learn from my journey, from my lesson, from my mistakes, and how we can have a deeper connection, a deeper conversation that is not just on social media. So the podcast is going to be weekly and it's going to be mainly solo episodes, but also some interview with incredible women founders. And it's going to be on all the major platforms, Apple, Spotify, and on YouTube. So make sure to subscribe and to follow in order to receive every week the new episodes updates. So I want to start the first of our conversation about identity and about why I called this podcast The Unmistakable Woman, because I had other podcasts in the past. Then I closed it, and then I was always, I should have a podcast, I should have a podcast. And I never then started it because it never felt right. But last year, I published my book at the beginning of this year. I had a lot of different pivots and change in my business and in my life, in my identity. And one thing that kept staying true to me and who I am is my identity, is the fact that I am unmistakably myself. And that's also what my client, my long-term clients always tell me is the gift, the biggest gift I give them, to become unmistakable women, to claim their unapologetic identity, their unapologetic desire for more, their unmistakable essence, the truth of who they are. Because I never tried to create copies of myself, copies of Elisa. Every time I worked with a client, whatever has been for short term, long term, in whatever category or niche, my objective has always been to extract the essence of what makes you unique. What makes you peerless? What makes you category one? What makes you so undeniably you that you cannot be compared with anyone else in the market? Because especially now, we have to be honest, like competition is bigger. There are more and more people entering the online space, entering entrepreneurship, more and more people with the help of AI, especially with ChatGPT and Claude and whatever they use, even if they are not expert, it's much easier. The barrier of entry in the online space versus what it was when I started in 2018. And I don't know when you started. If you started a long time ago as me, you probably have seen all the shifts and all the differences. So now people are pumping out content like there is no tomorrow, like a lot of content, a lot of platforms, a lot of visibility and exposure. There are more and more opportunity for visibility. Whatever is Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, podcasting, Substack, trial reels, like you name it. But why, I ask myself, why some people have all the visibility, they have thousands or hundreds of thousands of followers, and still either they are at a ceiling and they cannot break through that ceiling, or they cannot even sell premium offers. Because my brand and my business, if you don't know me, I have tried in the past, I have tried, sorry, I'm hot. I have tried the low ticket way, and it never worked for it worked because I know how to sell anything basically. And I'm going to tell you why in the next episodes, but it was not true to me. I am a premium girl. I am a luxury girl. I love luxury. I love beauty. I love art. I love everything that is expensive. My mom always laughed that I was born with wearing silk and cashmere. So the work I do now is to help personal brand like you and founders to become premium, to become category one, to become unmistakable, and to charge a premium rate and to attract premium clients. Okay? Because I believe that in the transformational space, in the coaching space, again, especially now with the AI, we don't need more information. Information is available everywhere. You can Google it, you can ask ChatGPT. What is not available anymore is transformation, is transformational work. Because a lot of the market is pivoting to digital products, digital courses, and low ticket offers with information. How to go viral, how to do trial reels, which amazing. If it's valuable for them and if this is their business model, I love it for them. This is not my lane. My lane is quality, premium, quality of transformation, quality of service, is luxury branding. I've worked for the biggest brand in the world: Prada, Chanel, Louis Vuitton, Dolce Gabbana, Stella McCartney. And then I worked in the fast fashion for Inditex, Zara. So I've always been a fashion girl. And I've always been obsessed with brand. I've always been obsessed with what makes a brand unique. What makes someone. And I was even asking this during my interviews when I was doing luxury recruitment consultancy. And we will get to know each other in this podcast, and I will share more about me and my journey, but I'm going to give you little hints. So when I was doing luxury recruitment consultancy, I always ask this question to my candidates. Why someone walk into a store, a sunglasses store, because let's say sunglasses or whatever, a store, a multi-brand store, so not the Chanel store, but a multi-brand store, and choose to buy a sunglasses that cost 350 euros or 500 euros versus a very similar one, very similar model, very similar color, very similar quality that cost 100 euros but is a unknown brand or is a lower level brand. Why someone would choose between buying Vogue sunglasses versus Chanel? And that has everything to do with the brand. When you understand that even if you are online, even if you don't have a store, a physical store, a front store that people can walk in, you still are a brand. Everything you put out represent your brand. Your grid, your videos, your stories, the way you show up, the way you write, the way you dress, the way you look like. Everything is your brand. Everything represents your brand. And what you want is for people to immediately recognize you, for people to immediately recognize your brand. For example, there is a woman I follow online, and everything she put out there, from ads, graphics, has the same exact aesthetic, color scheme. She wear always the same colors. She always wear similar outfits. She always shot in this similar location. So every time she appear on my grid, on my screen, or my ads, I immediately say, "Oh, that's her." My brain doesn't have to do the difficult work to try to decode what am I seeing? Who am I watching? My brain immediately associate this woman with their brand, with their products. And that's mastery. And I've not been, I have to be honest, the most consistent with this, because I am a manifesting generator in human design. If you're familiar with human design, I have ADHD. I change my mind a lot. So I played a lot during the years with my brand, with my colors, with my graphics. But no matter what, I stayed the same. Every time people told me, I love to buy from you because I love to be in your energy. I love to be in your world. I love the woman behind the brand. So before even looking at colors and graphics and fonts and vibe, mood boards of your brand, we want to dial in on you. That's why your identity is the single most important key to have a unmistakable boutique premium brand. Because you can have beautiful pictures, beautiful colors, beautiful fonts, beautiful grid, but still, if I don't feel who is the woman behind it, if I cannot feel you, if I don't understand who you are, what do you stand for, what makes you unique, why you, why Elisa, why I should choose you instead of someone else. It doesn't matter how perfect or beautiful is your caption, your grids, your photos, because people are not going to feel a connection with you. So when I was telling you about the example, and I have my coffee here, of the luxury brand I work with, some clients were really bought into Chanel. They were really bought in the story of Chanel, the aesthetic, the values, the vibe, the energy, the status that represent. And some other clients were really bought into Dolce Gabbana because it has completely different aesthetic, visual, but also brand story, but also founder story. Like who created Chanel, Coco Chanel, is a very different origin story than Dolce Gabbana, than Prada, than Stella McCartney. So if you want to really stand out, especially now in 2026 when we are recording this, the key, one of the most important key is to really turn on the dial on you. To really look at me, I'm also sunburned. To really turn on the volume, the light on you as the founder, on you as the woman behind the brand, as on you as the woman behind the business, on you as the steward of this community, of your community, of your movement. Because when in marketing, people say the know and trust factor, which is marketing basic 101. How do we shorten the space between when someone discover us and when they trust us to buy? Is with your brand. I don't have to be told, even if I've never walked into a Chanel store, what Chanel is about. Because I already know. My eyes, my subconscious, my senses already know exactly what Chanel is about, what Louis Vuitton is about, what Yves Saint Laurent is about, even if I've never bought anything from them. And I understand that doing this work online is a bit different than physical products. But ultimately, what I'm going to tell you is that it doesn't matter the product you sell, because the first thing that people buy is you. They don't buy the product. They don't buy the number of modules. They don't buy the number of calls. They don't buy any of that. They buy you. They buy you as the brand. You are the brand. So if you are replaceable, if they don't know what makes you unique, why they should choose you versus someone else that maybe has a much lower price point to their offers. Why would they choose you versus someone else? Because when you are not dialed in your brand, that's when basically you start competing on prices. You don't compete anymore on value, you compete on prices. Because when you are replaceable, when this thing you say, the things you believe, the way you talk, the way you show up, your values are the same identical that they can see everywhere else. At that point, they don't know maybe you yet. And so they're like, okay, I have these two options. I'm going to choose the cheaper one. Because no matter what, some people always are motivated by price. But when they are not motivated by price, when we talk to premium clients, they are not motivated by price anymore. They are motivated by the best. They are motivated by buying the best of the best quality. And so they desire to buy something that is special, that is unique, that is they cannot find anywhere else. And the first X factor that they cannot find anywhere else is you. Because literally, we already know this, like probably there is no one with you, no one who has your story, your expertise, your knowledge, your ethnicity, your age, your family of origin. There is no one in the world right now at this exact moment who is you. So I want to invite you for this first episode to really sit with yourself and ask yourself this question. What makes me? What do I believe to be true? What is my unique point of view? What are my values? What are my beliefs? What do I stand for and what do I stand against? What is my why? What is my mission? What is my vision? Because without any of this, you are gonna have an hard time selling and scaling. This is literally the first step. So, what do you care about? Why you? Why they should care about you? What do you believe to be true? What are your values? What are your unique stories? What shaped you to become the woman you are now? Because especially so many clients of mine come from corporate and I come from corporate. And sometimes when we come online, we have this strange brain thing where you believe that everything you have learned in your previous life, in your previous experience, is not valuable. But it's not true because actually, what makes you again and valuable in your own way is the fact that you have a past, that you have worked maybe in corporate before or you have done something else that shape your origin story. So don't eliminate anything. In the first stage of this work that I do with my clients, I literally sit with them hours or 1 hour, 2 hour to just listen to their story, to just listen to everything they have done in their life and every challenge they have navigated. And then I'm able to extract and pull out the things, the things that really make them unique and unmistakable. So if you want to do this work with me, of course, I'm gonna put more information in the notes of the show. But if you want to do it on your own, take a piece of paper, put some music, light a candle, have a coffee or whatever your beverage of choice, a matcha, and really spend time asking yourself this question. I can promise you sometimes can be a bit hard to do it by yourself, but if you can do it, it's really worth to start from here, to spend time with this process, because from there, then we can create everything else. So thank you so much for tuning in on our first episode, and I cannot wait to see you on the next one. Bye for now.